I sat on a plane one day on my way to California. It was a night flight. I was tired. I slept a while. The gentleman beside me was a distinguished man. I finally struck up a conversation with him, asking what he did for a living. He said, I'm a professional airline pilot. He said, I was in the military, in the Air Force, and now I am an airline pilot. And he told me things about his duties and his work. He turned to me and he said to me, he said, and what is it that you do? What is your profession, your line of work? I said to him, I am a man of God. I have given my entire life to preaching the gospel and to helping as many as I possibly can. He turned in his seat and looked at me squarely, and then he began to tell me a story. He said, all of my life, until recently, I was an atheist. I believed that there was no God. He said, but one night on a solo flight mission, he said, I was alone in the cockpit of my plane. He said, looking through the windows out into the vast expanse of space, he said, suddenly, I became aware of a force, a power. He said that force slipped through the wall of my plane and came in and sat down beside me in the seat near the cockpit. He said it was then, Reverend, that I was convinced that there was a God and that I needed him. Someone said, we are such little men when the stars come out. Have you ever walked out on a dark night, a clear night, and lifted your eyes to the vast expanse of space? There's something that resounds inside the human spirit that says there is a God. He said, Reverend, my wife doesn't even know this. He said, but I've been going to a little church on the other side of Los Angeles. He said, it's a black church. He said, they clap their hands, they shout, and they get happy. He said, they're so alive with what they have a hold of. I grabbed his hand. I said, sir, that sounds like us. That sounds like us, because we clap and we shout and we get happy and we do all of those things also. If you're happy here today, would you give it a little shout? Would you give it a little happiness?